Alright, now that we've created all of our prerequisites for our form handling in PHP, we've created our database in our MySQL database. We have also created a users table inside of that database. And now we need to create a form, which you can see I've already done here. I created a form with an action of formhandler.php. That is the PHP file that we're going to send this data to, and we're going to post that data to our PHP file. And you can see I've added an input of type text with a name of fname, which stands for first name, and I've also added a label out to the side. I'm going to put a break tag in between those so we can get some space in between them. And I've also created another input type of text with the name lname. And so I'm also going to put a break in between that and our submit button. So save that. And let's go take a look at our PHP file. This should look familiar if you've been watching the past tutorials. You see that I have this connection right here. This is the variable that I am actually connecting to our MySQL database with. You can see that I'm connecting to the New Boston, and you can also see that I've added some conditional statements inside. This is saying if the connection doesn't work, then you're going to go ahead and kill the MySQL, or not the MySQL, but the PHP script. And here is some very key information right here. This first name variable with this $_post and this left bracket and quotation, fname, quotation, right bracket, and then a semicolon. And what this is saying is you're going to grab the data from the input box that has been submitted to this PHP file. So for instance, you can see that here we have this name fname, and whenever we click our submit, it's going to go to this PHP file because that is the action that we're sending it to. It's going to go to that PHP file and it's going to look for this fname, and it's going to assign it to the variable first name. And we're going to do the same thing with the lname. And so below that I've created this MySQL select DB statement that is telling the PHP file to look at the New Boston as the database, and then it's telling it to use this connection variable which we've created up here, that's telling it to look at the localhost, and it's telling it to use the user New Boston and use their password that they created inside of the database. So once you connect to the New Boston database using New Boston as the user, looking at the localhost, then you can start to do some SQL statements on that database, and you can actually start to read and to insert and delete and do whatever kind of data manipulation you need to do to your database. So for this example, we're just going to insert into our new users. We're going to insert into users, and we have first name and last name. You see it's separated by commas, and what this is the actual field names that we're going to be inserting into. And then after you fill this part out, you type in values after that, and then you open up another set of parentheses, and you need to follow in order exactly like you did right here, like first name, and below that, whenever you insert values, you're going to insert first name. And you can see that I've taken this variable that we defined right here and I've wrapped it in single quotes. Make sure you put your $ before that. And so what that's saying, it's saying insert into first name whatever variable is inside of here once we click that submit to post the data to our form handler. So insert into first name, and insert into last name the variable last name. So make sure that you guys, whenever you're filling out your MySQL query, it's very important to understand how that works. How you have first name and last name and last name. Because if you don't keep those in order, you're going to end up putting in some data into your database that you do not want. And I've already went over what this result variable is doing and what this loop is doing. And so what we expect to see now is once we submit our form, it's going to grab our variables and then it's going to insert those variables into our database. And after it inserts those variables, it's going to select this star, or all. It's going to select all from users, and then it's going to output that inside of this loop right here. So let's run this so you guys can finally see how to handle our forms inside of PHP. And again, this is a very simple example, and you can do a lot more with this, but I know that some people are asking how to do this, and I just wanted to help you guys out and run through a quick tutorial and show you guys exactly how easy it is to insert some data into a database using PHP. So what we have here is the form that we created inside of form input.html. And if you guys don't remember, that is right here. We have our form data inside of this form right here. So let's go back to the form input.html, and let's go ahead and type in a name. I'm going to type in just a simple filler name, Jane Doe. I'm going to submit, and you can see that I've already submitted a few records into our database. And there you go. We have inserted Jane Doe into our PHP, or into our MySQL database. So let's just do this again just to make sure you guys see that it's working. Lame Doe. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the new Boston. I'm going to go to our PHPMyAdmin, click on the new Boston, click on users, and now you can see that this is where our data is stored. This is it. So hopefully the last 4 tutorials you guys have learned something, and you guys have little light bulbs going off in your head, so you're thinking of all these things you want to do with forms and how you want to store some data. And this is really just the surface of how powerful PHP and MySQL are together. And especially since they're free, it really makes handling server-side code and dealing with databases a lot of fun. But PHP and MySQL, I could spend probably 4 months teaching you guys things about PHP and MySQL, because there are just such deep holes to fill and to understand and to learn. But you guys have seen a few basics here in these form handling tutorials, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to start going over next, but I guarantee you it's going to be awesome. So you guys stay tuned and keep watching, and make sure you guys give me some feedback, and let me know if there's anything else that you guys want me to teach you, because I would be more than willing to help you guys out. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the new Boston, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial.